welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Patra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on these trades, starting with the benchmark index moves to sectoral and stock action, and also how should you be viewing the fresh allegations against the Adani group, and what should you make of the current dip that you're looking at as a knee-jerk reaction to the report as well today. We'll understand this in deep with our expert today. But first, a quick look at how the markets are looking at this point in time. Remember, it's the FNO expiry session of the series, and the markets are incrementally turning more negative, about 0.5% of losses on the Nifty. It's not only breached the 19,300 mark below, it's right now also trading below the 19,250 odd mark. Remember, the Sensex is also trading 258 points lower in trade at 64,828. So the benchmarks are definitely weak. We did see, respite coming in from the small cap index, the broader markets mid cap index all through the session today. But the mid caps are also losing steam and they've turned negative. As we speak, 39,050. It's just the small caps that are holding up, about 0.6% of gains coming in on this one. The consumer durables, IT and the realty pack. These are the lone sectoral gainers with gains of anywhere between flattish to about 0.8% of a surge coming in. But you can still see the kind of momentum we had seen in the Nifty IT right in the beginning of the session today. It's also come down at the lowest point as well. The consumer durables, however, are giving a contrary picture. Days high at this point, about 0.8% of gains coming in. Let's also look at the realty names. That's also now slipped into the red. The Nifty realty as we speak is flattish. And you can see, the momentum losing steam over here as well. Of course, the Adani group stocks, Adani Enterprises now losing further stream, about 4% decline today. Adani Ports is now 3.5% down in trade. Some of the other laggards as far as the Nifty is concerned, you can spot Apollo Hospitalization, Paints, Axis Bank. It's an alliteration. All the names starting with A are down in trade. Of course, you also have, the Bajaj twins also losing steam, and BPCL also down by about 3% right there. But let's welcome our guest on the show. Mr. Vineet Bolinshkar joins us, Director Research at Ventura Securities. Welcome, Vineet, and thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion. I'll just take a very, very quick take on the markets, the trading setup right now amid the global context. And of course, we await the GDP data that is likely to come positive. Is that going to give some respite to the markets which have been stuck in a range for now?
So, I'd like to give a slightly longish answer, but I'll keep it very succinct as possible. See, China is seeing absolutely demand imploding. Jobs, salaries are not being paid, and that is also true at the bureaucratic levels, the government. So there is generally a lot of deflation happening. US, you are seeing inflation, but what is happening across China is that the supply is not coming through. And their currency goes down, the US raises rates, their currency depreciates further, and then that puts further pressure on the Indian rupee. So, we might see the Indian rupee come under pressure, and then the government will have to raise rates to keep the inflation under check. So we are into a kind of a vicious cycle, which is not being very foreboding by the way the market action that has been taking place today. So I am a little wary and a little cautious on the market, and the small cap rally, which has been on an extended tear, I think just might have come to a halt as we speak today.
Okay, more cautious stance on the markets as we speak. But let's now shift focus to our topic of the discussion today, and that is the Adani Group stocks. Remember, first it was the Hindenburg research report at the beginning of the year, and now the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, or OCCRP. This is the second time in 7 months that the Adani Group is now facing allegations of using dubious means for business gains. Now, the Organized Crime and Corrupting Reporting Project, which is a non-profit media organization, has now alleged that the Adani Group of companies have invested millions of dollars in publicly traded stocks of the group through opaque Mauritius funds. And responding to the allegations, however, the Adani Group has claimed that these allegations are not only baseless but also unsubstantiated. They're also rehashed from Hindenburg research report and the allegations right there. So that's as far as the response from the Adani Group is concerned. Let's look at the stocks. Of course, the allegations came in before the market opening, and even the Adani Group's response came in the pre-market opening session. From that time on to the day's close, as far as the trading session is concerned, we have been seeing a decline come in on the Adani Group stocks, all of them down in trade. Adani Enterprises right now 4% down. We have Adani Ports that's down 4% again at 790. Adani Green Energy 3.5% down at 938. You also have Adani Wilmar that's down by 2.3%. ACC that's down 1.22%. Ambuja Cements is down 3.5% again. You also have NDTV that's down by over a 2% fall, can actually be seen on this one. So, all the stocks are showing the kind of decline we've been seeing. But, Mr. Bulinshkar, I wanted to understand from you, how are you really looking at the fresh allegations made by OCCRP from a stock market standpoint, and should investors be really concerned?
So first, let's get into the merits of the allegations, right? The allegations were made internationally.
Mr. Bulinshkar, can I request you to please
coming in
start,
from
Mr. Bulinshkar, can I ask you to restart your answer? We lost your audio in between because of technical glitch. If you can, I think the internet stability is an issue, but if you could restart your answer.
So, we had a shoot and scoot event from the Hindenburg. It was published overseas. No data was given. And any shareholder activist could have presented the data that they had to the Indian courts, right? And so far, the Indian courts have given a clean chit. Now you have another body which is called the OCCRP, which is related to the same person, that is George Soros. Okay, coming in and making allegations. Why are they not submitting the proof to the agencies out here or the regulators? So just merely making public allegations in media does not really hold light. And if you go to see from the business point of view or the promoter's point of view, they have been under scrutiny for the last 7-8 months from every quarter, from the regulators, from the tax regulators, from international agencies, from credit rating agencies, and all have affirmed that the business fundamentals are absolutely sound. And if you look at the debt to EBITDA basis, it's only 2.5 to 3. So, within 3 years, they can just, their massive debt can be simply paid off surely from the business profits that are run. So, we do not find too much merit in what is being said. Having said that, what happens is that George Soros has such a big clout in the international investing market that even the hunky-dory who have lost a lot of money, in the previous rout of the Adani stocks would want to stay away. So my advice to all investors is that until we don't get a clean chit absolutely from the Supreme Court of India, don't venture into these stocks. You may buy them a little bit higher, but just be out of this mess as far as my advice is concerned.
So, as far as the allegations are concerned, let me ask you, if you've read through some of the report and some of the, allegations that they've made, are these the same allegations made previously in the Hindenburg research report? Is there anything new to the allegations that they've added?
So, they just made allegations last time. Now they've given us some kind of a path of the trail of the money. So, if they have such convoluted details available with them, why don't you produce the documentary evidence in the court when it went to the courts of India, right? It was not bought, it was not substantiated. You had an ample time window to do it, they've not done it. So, you can clearly make out from this that it is more motivated from external factors. And, if you want to join the dots, I can do it for you. The Haifa port, when the Adanis won, this string of events started. And recently, after Prime Minister Modi had gone to Greece, and Adani, there were talks in the market that it would become another 3 ports, right? So again, these news articles have started to come out. So, there is some kind of a correlation with all this that is happening. And that is really, really discouraging for shareholders of not only the Adani, but also for the Indians at large.
But would you, be comfortable at this point of time to tell the investors and the shareholders to somehow dismiss this set of allegations that have been made and stick to what they have been thinking as far as the investment plan is concerned?
So, as an analyst who has looked at the business extensively, all that I can say is from the data that is available in the public domain, you know, from the balance sheets, the annual reports of the company, and the presentations that they make, that, you know, it's a really fundamentally very safe and sound uh, business that is there. If there are other, untoward incidents happening which are happening behind the scenes, until that data is presented to us, we cannot comment on that. That is for the courts and the investigative agencies to look at. But from the entire business perspective, analytical abilities that we have, we can say that, you know, the business is very strong, sound, and, you know, the business has passed through the stress test of several decades in which a lot of infrastructure companies have gone bust, and this group has emerged stronger and has been a winner. And, you know, the promoter, because of his smart execution and the way he's run his business, was for a very short time, you know, one of the richest men in the country, in the world. So apart from that, what I would like to say is that, you know, repeat at the cost of repeating myself, is that the business has in the last 6 months has gone under the scrutiny of not only SEBI, the credit rating agencies, the bond buyers, as well as equity research analysts.
Yeah.
And after that, we've had marquee investors like GQG come in. We've had sovereign funds come and invest in the stock. So, you know, I would rather, put my money where the money flows. And the money is flowing into the company, and that is very, very encouraging.
Okay. The way the stocks have really moved, there was a very, very sharp reaction downside after the Hindenburg research report. We saw the entire group looking at a market cap erosion of almost 70, 80 odd percent. Most of the stocks did fall very, very sharply. But over the course of the findings, the progress report of the SEBI report so far, the way the courts have handled the case, we've seen a sharp recovery as well from those lows. 30, 40, 50% of the recovery of that market cap has already happened. There was a big question mark on the valuation front, the sharp surge that has come on the Adani Group stocks on a very short span of time. How are the valuations really placed for most of the Adani Group stocks now after the kind of recovery that we have seen in the last few months?
So, you know, I think Adani Ports is extremely undervalued. Prior to the Hindenburg report, now we had a target of doubling your money from current levels. If we come to Adani Enterprises, uh, you know, even if you were to discount that entire hydrogen business that we had built into the valuations, even if you remove that out of the picture, I think it is very fairly valued at about 2,400. So, you know, investors who get into this stock can see an upside of about 20% from here, you know, all things being normal, okay, in a normal environment. If you take the case of Adani Green, there is an issue of, uh, you know, re, uh, recycling the debt. The day they can recycle that debt, I think that stock will emerge to become one of the biggest multi-baggers in the renewable space, because they have such a big portfolio. Almost today we are sitting on almost 8-9,000 megawatts of power generation, and, you know, they have plans to go to 40,000 in the next few years. If you look at Adani Energy Solutions, you know, that is one of the most protected businesses among the Adani group, because what happens is, for every power that is generated, you know, the first charge on the collections is with the transmission companies, and the money flows to them through escrow accounts. And, you know, when you bid for projects, you get cash flows, fixed annuities for 35 years. Plus, you own the transmission network. And, you know, in 35 years, inflation of all that, you know, really raises the enterprise value of the business. So we think that is a very good stock. Other than that, we look at Adani Gas, you know, it's a foolproof business. Uh, Gas prices are controlled in India, and it is part of the, fossil fuel replacement cost to clean energy. And if you consider gas to be clean energy, and the number of geographical licenses that they won is fantastic. So, you know, this also stock has a very good outlook. As far as Adani Power is concerned, if you look into that, you will see that, they've just bid for about 4,000 crores. And if you see the cement stocks, Adani Cements has done a buyout of Sanghi Industries, and they have got plans to double capacity between Ambuja and ACC. So, you know, very, very strong wicket. they have consolidated their position, and their growth plans are still intact. So we are very constructively positive on this group. The only thing I would wish for is that the Supreme Court announce their judgment
Yeah.
ASAP, so that we can put this event behind us and we can get on with the business of investing.
Okay. Several stocks that you've said that they are on fundamental strong footing at this point in time and things going better for the group. But if I have to ask you the top 2 or 3 bets from the group in pecking order, which ones would they be? And is there any group, any stock or any company that you would like to still avoid at this point?
So Adani Ports, Adani Enterprises, Adani Energy Solutions, and the Cement Twins are the pecking order. If
Okay.
at all I would avoid a stock, it would be Adani Power, because it's all coal based and anti ESG.
Okay, but does anything change for the kind of reports that have been submitted by SEBI so far? Does anything change as far as the judicial system and their scrutiny is concerned with the coming of new report? I just wanted to understand, if does anything change over there? Will fresh perspective be needed? Because I think the opposition is completely demanding a JPC. Will this process get elongated?
So without getting into the politics of the
Sure.
issue on hand, all I would like to say is that, let the foremost court of this country uh, give the justice, and then we can get on with the business of investing.
Okay. Well, many thanks, Mr. Bolenchkar, for being with us on this edition and sharing with us all your thoughts on the fresh allegations made by OCCRP on the Adani Group, and how does that really change, if at all, things for the Adani Group and the shareholders and investors at large, and how should one be really looking at their own investments in the group at this point. Always a pleasure having you with us on Business Today TV. Let's look at the markets, especially the Sensex, still down about 300 odd points, and 100 points of a decline for the Nifty, right now as well. We are inching closer to the day's close, and you can actually see that the markets are poised to end the August FNO series on a negative note, the first one at that in the last 5 months that we have seen. And of course, slipping below crucial support levels as well. 19,250 seems to be broken at this point in time. We'll wrap it up at that, but do stay tuned on to Business Today TV for a whole lot more coverage from the world of business and stock markets. What you should also get ready is for our special series, that's Market Masters, where market gurus reveal their investment strategies for a winning portfolio. So you can join us on the coming Monday, that's 4th of September, with Tahir Badshah, President and CIO, Invesco Mutual Fund, to get his market insights and in-depth market analysis. You can also send us your queries to us on this number 7303080488, and these questions will be taken live. Importantly, we'll also have to keep an eye out on the Adani Group stocks again today. Fresh allegations now emerging. OCCRP has alleged that Mauritius-based opaque funds have invested millions of dollars in Adani stocks, and